Madam Chair, thank you for urging our colleagues to join. I would hope that we could do this in a bipartisan manner. The manner in which the Senate did 100 senators out of 100 senators, the manner in which the Congress did 368 congressional members, and I wish we could support the President in a bipartisan manner. And I not only hope that we can, but I expect us to. Why? Because it's our duty. We have a duty today to ensure highway safety. That duty is a continuous duty that we have every single day. And in the post-9/11 period, in doing so to ensure national security. And SB 60 does that. And so I say to you, those who are here with trepidation, unwillingness to come forward to join the national political consensus on national security, I say to you simply that security delayed is security denied. That safety delayed is safety denied. You come here today and say, well, it's too early, it's too soon, we can't move. But if not now, then when? If not us, then who? Is the question that comes before us today. We are not responding to the fact that there are 22 million motorists who will take to the highway tomorrow. 10% of them, by our inaction, will be unlicensed, untested, uninsured. This law served us well for 65 years. Yes, there were those who wanted to play immigration politics with this bill. In 1993, they changed the law, and guess what? It didn't work. It made our highways unsafe and didn't have one impact. Not one person, not one scintilla of evidence, not one report, not one study, no evidence to indicate that it had any impact on immigration. In fact, the studies show that immigration increased the subsequent 3 years. And so we know people don't come for licenses because why? They have licenses where they come from. This isn't about immigration, but people want to talk about immigration. The fact of the matter is people come for jobs. The colleague of Mr. Altman was on television yesterday. So one of our problems is we have employers who give the jobs. Because nobody takes a job. People accept jobs. Nobody takes a job. If you're offered a job, you accept it. And we have employers who offer jobs because they're in business to make money, and they want the lowest paid workforce that's competent, that's capable, that's responsible. For example, our agriculture industry relies on them. Could not produce ag in this state without an immigrant workforce. Over 90% is immigrant, over 70% of that workforce is undocumented. Yet not one employer, according to Mr. Melman yesterday on ABC News, in the year 2004 had one sanction brought to them, even though it's the law. Recent report I read, I believe in the SAC-B, indicated only 45 in the last period. And so employers are hiring people, breaking the law. No penalty, continue to operate. In fact, I'm here to ask for, one, an obligation and a fulfillment of our duty to all Californians and our nation. But second, if I may impose upon you two things. One, I expect the governor to honor his word. He gave me his word that if I worked with him to repeal the bill, which I suggested to him, that we would work to resolve this issue. And so we repealed the bill. One of the first accomplishments that we made in a bipartisan manner. Then the conditions changed. Then the conditions were he wanted a marked license. This has a marked license. Then the conditions changed. He wanted a license for ID purposes, for driving purposes only. This is for driving purposes only. Then he said, Gil, this is bigger than your district. This is bigger than the state. We have to think about national security. Congress has acted, and this is the consensus. So now we hear, well, it's premature. But what are we doing to prepare? Mr. Cathy is a very honorable man. We've worked with him for many years on this issue. But what preparations are we making so that we are ramped up and prepared? Because if not, it's not just thousands of people, millions of people, it's all of us. Our licenses will become invalidated. You won't be able to get on a plane, Mr. Bogue, using your California driver's license as an ID. I won't. All of us won't if we don't come into compliance. And so I say to you that we're duty-bound and obligated to take action now. And I would ask you to be consistent because you raised a good point, Mr. Cedillo. No, Mr. Huff, you raised a very good point. People say it's the law, we should comply with the law. We are not here proposing that people break the law. We're proposing, as the president says, that the laws should be conformed in a way that deals with our realities. That's what President Bush says with respect to the question of immigration. Our people are passionate. The system we have today is not a compassionate system. It's not working. As a result, the country is less secure than it could be with a rational system. That's the quote of the president on this question. And so we must take action. And I agree with you that we should not reward people who break the law. My question, what perplexes me from your side of the aisle, with all due respect, what perplexes me is that when people don't pay their taxes, we give them tax amnesty. When restaurants and hotels come to you and say we can't comply with the law for disabled access, right? We want to change the law, right? My good friend Senator Pachigian introduced that legislation this year. When companies pollute the air, we give them small credits. They break the law, we give them small credits. But more so and more on the point, we sit here today with legislation in this House that will give licenses to child molesters and sex offenders. We give licenses to alcoholics and debate whether or not we should take their car away the second time we catch them. We give licenses to people who rob banks and use vehicles to escape. They break the law. Why don't we take away their license? They use it in commissions of crimes. Not to go to work, not to take care of their families, not to create a circumstance so that all of us can benefit from it. And so I ask you, what about breaking the law is breaking the law? Let's apply that. And let's do so fairly and thoughtfully, and let's do so in a way that deals with our realities. And our reality today is that 22 motorists will take to the highway tomorrow morning. Are we doing all that we can deliberately and diligently to ensure that we are making them safe and secure as our obligation? I ask for an aye vote.
Move the bill, Madam.